So it's so awesome to be able to, after what you went through just 5 months ago. It's amazing how far we've come in 5 months. Can you believe it? But December 31st of last year, January 1st, I was in Northside Hospital emergency room. I felt like I was going to die, and you were, you were, due to anemia, blood loss, to coumadin levels. They weren't really being checked like they should have been when I first got into the hospital. I had went to the hospital and I never was on Coumadin, so I was never going weekly to the Coumadin clinic and checking my blood. Matter of fact, I never knew there was a Coumadin clinic. I thought I was an Eliquis. All I had to do was be an Eliquis, and it would just dissolve the clot, and the rest would be history. I didn't know about INR ratio and all these different things about blood thinners. I mean, I just thought, well, if this will just fix itself, God's gonna heal it supernaturally and all that mess. So last year, and 2 years before, probably I was having the same problems in 2022, three, and then of course four. It just exacerbated itself with the knee injury and the inability to straighten that right knee, which was a injury over 10 years that I just allowed to continue to get worse and worse and worse because I was fat and obese and obese and obese, fatty. So, as I'm sitting here today, I'm going to be talking about my experience with my ex. Turn this down a little bit in the background. I just want to just basically just kind of give you some thoughts to myself about the type of relationship that I had. And the message that I had with her, which kind of turned drastic. The issue that was going down was Shay was, but was at fault for this. I should have not dated Shay again. I should not have went back and called her. I should not have went back and dated her sexually. When I got that job that I was going to get fired from, I should have saved all that money, prepared for the firing, and been looking for new jobs. Okay? I didn't think about that. I just wasted that money. I spent it up. I also didn't think that I was going to be evicted from my home, that I would throw stuff away, that I would end up about a year later losing everything that I had worked so hard to save, couldn't get a job. And I did Uber, but Uber was once, well, I was making $80 a day, if that. And that was really on Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays. I made no money Monday through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then when I decided to really work the long hours, here's what the problem was. The problem was that I was needing to exercise. So guess what? I'm not exercising no more. I stopped swimming. I wasn't really burning that many calories via swimming, but I needed it. I just did not really seriously think, man, I'm fucked up. And I'm a Christian. But I'm saying that because I think Christians, I've seen so many obese, super fat women, super fat men that are dying. Before, I used to look at them and I used to be like, okay. After what I went through, I look at them and I feel shame. I feel pity. I pray for them. Because the sad fact of the matter is they're dying. They're not going to make it to 75 years old. And if they make it to 75, they're not going to have no sex. They're going to have nobody to love them. That was me, you know. So the lesson I learned the hard way was that when I had hurt my knee and I was staying in Shay's home, Her brother was there. Maybe that was God. I don't know. But if Chae was brother was not there, I don't know what our relationship would have been like. I think it would have been pretty sad. Why? Because I would have been not talking to her. I was trying to get out of her house. I did not want to stay there. She's like, well, you could stay because I want you to help pay bills and help me get out of debt. It was a business decision, you know what I mean? But she lives so far away from every damn thing. Atlanta, Georgia is for educated college degree people. The jobs are always in the away from where poor people are. She lived where the poor people were. She lived down south in Hampton, Georgia. Hampton is a poor neighborhood in Clayton County, which is a poor neighborhood overall. Okay, it's black, and as a black person, you proud to have a neighborhood until you go see white neighborhoods, you realize what you don't have, and that's just always the way it's got to be. But if you lived in a white neighborhood, unfortunately, like I had, you kind of like the amenities that you get there. Everything was 20 minutes away down there. Just to go to the store was 5 miles. When you're broke and you don't have enough gas money, 5 miles is a lot of money. When you got lots of money, 5 miles ain't crap. I had both worlds. For about 13 years, I had money. Then when I lost my job, I didn't have any money. She goes, she hates that our friendship is not elevated to a point. Well, I'm not elevated. I don't think you can elevate a friendship to a point when you don't even defend me in front of your own blood relative. And you only got one. So when you look at individual family members that are quote unquote hating the boyfriend of a woman in the family or the girlfriend of a male in the family, this is exactly what I'm talking about. We used to say growing up, you don't marry just a person or date just a person, you date their family too. Problem is, when the person is abusive, the family members are going to say, you need to leave that guy alone. But they don't. They sit right there and they take it. They take the abuse, they take all the crap, and then eventually death comes by the hand of the abuser, and then now we got a loss, and we got a court, and we got, a person having to say, I forgive you, and all the stuff. I met a lady today on my drive to the doctor's office, and it was very interesting. She was telling me about her life, and she started talking about it, and I was like, well, she said that she has like three or four kids, and they're very well off. From her first husband, very beautiful girl, obviously beautiful enough to get a second husband. Amen. I mean, I'm beautiful enough to give me a second wife. But the interesting thing about it was, she said her son, who had been a coach and who had been a teacher, and he was a football coach, and he touched the city, ride on a motorcycle and gets hit and killed by accident, and it rocked her. It just always goes to show, when you think everything is going good, here comes damn fucking shoe to drop on you. Because you look at her, hear her story, she really had a great life. She was a stay-at-home mom. All she'd do is just have sex and make babies and pump them out and take care of them. Her husband did all the work, like white women. So she now struggling, broken-hearted. It broke up her marriage. Oh, excuse me, damn gnat came in here. I'm sitting there chilling. I'm attracted to these damn gnats. And where I brush my teeth. I wore that. Um, Sorry for that information, guys. I'm laying on my back and studying, but I wanted to put this out and on my YouTube page. Why? When I come back and I look at it years from now and I play it, you know, you will have the storyline of what it was like going to the hospital, what it was like going to Northside Hospital, a very wealthy hospital here in Atlanta. Passed by many times. I didn't get a chance to go to Piedmont or Emory, even though I went to Emory for like a whole year of my job. I had Emory doctors and everything. Well, the lady that drove me to my pulmonary appointment, only a 20-minute appointment, checked my blood and praise God, my blood levels were INR was wonderful. Went from 1.9 to 2.3, which is good. They want I have to have a blood levels at a certain range so that I don't have a embolism. I mean, this is life is in the blood, right? Blood pressure, blood clot, blood sugar, all the blood, the blood, the blood. So, as it relates to Chae, I realized that we all got to have a job, we all got to pay bills, but I definitely should not have ever dated anybody who lived in their house all day and all night, who was rich enough, and I mean very rich, that she could have a gym membership to the best gyms in the country, personal trainers, and work out. But you know what she focused on? She focused on paying off her student loan at the expense of her being 250 pounds. So yeah, you praise God, you paid your debts off. You got your degrees, you paid your debts off. But you're sick because you're fat. You also are miserable emotionally because you're an emotional eater, which will make you fat. And then on the relationship side, you're a person that never learned how to even relate to a man. You dated as a broken woman, growing up in a broken home, with a broken father and a broken mama, a broken mother. You need therapy, like we all need therapy, you know? So when I dated her, I tried to fix her. I tried to do all these things for her. Now, lesson learned, that's not going to work. That doesn't work. It was a time in a dating relationship that you're just happy. That time ends. And what it started, I really started to see some things was when I had lost my job. I don't ever want to lose my job again, but I realize it's going to happen. So I'm going to have to deal with it again and again and again. Fine. The hardest part, of course, is when you lose your job, you lose your girlfriend. So the good news is I know it now. I know that now. So I wrote her an email. I wrote a text message, and I got the text messages on my phone. And I would say, it was about less than 5 minute read. Didn't have to spend a lot of time reading it. I hadn't talked to you in 4 or 5 months because I'm struggling to live. Okay, after being in the hospital and basically almost dying. Think about it. I spent so many weeks in the hospital, and physical therapists would come visit me once a day and try to get me up out the bed. I had to learn how to get out the bed. That was number one. Then get to the restroom. That was number two. Then transfer from the wheelchair to the toilet. That's number three. And then back. That's number four. Believe me, it was hard because I never had to do this with my life. And the worst part about it is when you're by yourself and there's nobody there, and you're doing something you've done for years, never thinking about it. Well, you think about it now, falling and can't get up, you know. Top of that, I had hurt my left hand about 4 years ago, and I couldn't bend my wrist. But guess what? I ended up hurting my right arm. I don't know how. I think sleeping on it for I was only in the hospital rehab for 7 months. But in that 7 months, something happened. And my hand has got a term called Dupuytren's contracture. And I never heard of this disease ever, but I've seen it at people who've had strokes. A lot of them have had the same thing, except it's worse. So the lesson learned here is that nobody cares. You got to deal with it. You got to deal with it. Because when I was going through this stuff, and Chae Downing was riding past me, Georgia 400, every day to go to her job, she was like, I can't come see you because I got to go back to work in my house. And we understand you got a job. But the fact of the matter is, you could have came and seen me. In a relationship, you come. But what she really got me upset about was when she was trying to, quote unquote, side with the nurses against me. It was like everything I said didn't matter. I kept telling her I didn't feel well, kept telling her I don't feel well, and didn't know at the time, excuse me, a gnat bug is flying around me, that I had been having some physical internal issues. We don't know what the roots were. We're still trying to diagnose them now. But no one spoke to me. No one talked to me. The nurses at the rehab place didn't really care. They came around, but they never really said nothing. Fortunately, I took my medication as I was directed and did what I was supposed to do. And I finally started feeling normal. There was a period of time where I didn't feel normal. I didn't eat nothing. So I ended up losing about 100 pounds because I really felt like I was going to die. So eating was the last thing on my mind. Well, during that period of time, Chae didn't see me. And the next time she come and visit me, she looked at me and go, oh, you lost all that weight. Yeah, you missed it. If you were there and around, you would have been able to see me go through what I went through. I really hated that, but I realized as I thought about it more than ever. So what a person likes you, they got weaknesses in their life and their relationship of themselves that disconnect with your life and the relationship with you. You got to move on, man. You got to move on. So I got to now work with organizations that I can be able to just get assistance. I'm doing everything in my power. I got a laptop, I got a computer, I got the ability to think. I still got the ability to type with my right hand, thank God. I almost thought I lost that ability. Even if I'm on disability and I have to deal with that consequence, I'm still gonna fight to have a job and a career. I'm angry at God, at myself, at life, choice I made, but you know what? Nobody cares. So she uses these really big words. Distance, avoidance, or that's not the distance avoidance, but lies, where was the lie? Disrespect. Disrespect is your opinion, that's opinion. Lies? I didn't lie to any of you. What lies did I make? I'm not gonna deal with that. Unmet expectations. What was expectation? I mean, what expectation are you trying to say that I met? First and foremost, I tried to work and get a job as an Uber driver. I went to the lowest of the lowest job that I could qualify for because I had a young car with young miles, and people said they made $2,000 a month on Uber. Believe me, that's a lie. They be lying. It's very low. You can't do that without working 13-hour days. That's 14-hour days. So she goes, to be honest, I'll wait to do everything else on my list before I have to sit down and address long text messages. Well, you have a list. Fine, we get that. The text message, she said, was long. Look at your letter. Look at all your letters. They long as heck, you know. Gaslighting? I never gaslighted. That's a term the kids use today. Disrespect and trying to control. What's trying to control? Ask you to do something for me, Yeah, I guess that in her mind was control. Yeah. So I disagree with that. And we have to agree to disagree. I'm a busy person, yeah. And that's true. I know you're busy. I never ever tried to. I'm glad she says I cured her of that notion. Girlfriend was never busy. My girlfriend sat at home all day and worked. She didn't. I know her for 12 years. I could truly say this: you really never did anything other than lived in your house. That's it. Now she says that she's getting with Delta Sigma Theta, trying to get more active in the sorority. And that's good. I'm glad. You know, you spend all that money and time to join the organization. That's the least you could do. But the thing about it is, I'm glad. Her statement, I'm certain that it's certainly where I thought you could be 4 months ago. Well, she says that she's glad I'm in a personal care facility. She thought I should be there 4 months ago. Well, you didn't know the hell was going on with me. You had no access to my medical records. I took you off my list. I didn't want you to know what was going on in my life. Matter of fact, and then the setback that I had in January 1st from October 10th, I'm just grateful that I motivated myself to help myself, because that's what I had to do. I had to focus on myself. So the biggest thing I would say is that I I hope she gets sick so she can really see exactly what it's like when you haven't experienced sickness. You don't really understand that you got to believe in yourself, and if you lost everything, it takes time to believe in yourself that you can do A, B, C, D, F, G, X, Y, Z, right? So, I tell myself, man, when I was working, I got a job. I was at the Y. LA Fitness. I'm swimming every morning. My knee is, I'll be able to walk on it. And I should have actually had surgery. But the people that I was working for, they were going to fire me. And so I didn't want to get surgery because I really wanted to prove that I could do the job as anybody would. Well, that didn't work out. And she's like, and remembering the past long before you start living with me. And of course, I did. I remember in the past too. Listen to this, where you asked me for something. I did, but I rarely. It was rare. I rarely asked you for anything. Why? Because I made so much money from 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I was balling to the point where I had first class tickets to New York, first class tickets to LA. I lived the life that I deserved to live. And I'm glad I did it, because if I did the way if I'd gotten sick, I would have never had those memories of that. Because if I just, you know, paid off all our debts, dang, that brother. Oh, pissing me off here. I gotta brush my teeth. I ate some food, so I gotta brush my teeth. So, and so she goes, I remember in Cage's past, long before you started living with her, she said, those times stuck me because I had so little to give, and I knew that you were financially in a much better place. And of course I was in a financial much better place, but that's why I didn't ask you for nothing. Despite that, I gave what you gave. What did you actually give? What did you actually give me? I'd like to know. You say you got a great memory. What did you give? You're the one that was struggling, going to, stay with a need up in New York to take care of your father, having to go up and deal with his death, going back and forth to take a job up there, and because you basically wanted a better job as a project manager, and that was what you had to do to get the project manager specialty. I don't remember ever spending money asking you to give me gas money to come visit you. I don't ever remember paying for the miles that I paid on those rental cars and gas costs and rental costs. $250 a weekend was the average price at the airport. I didn't have to do that if I wasn't dating you. I could have just said, hey, I ain't gonna spend no money on anybody who don't live downtown Atlanta. I would have got a different quality woman. It'd have been a whole nother situation. I probably would have spent money differently, but at least it wouldn't have been car and rental money. So, despite that, I gave, even when it hurt. When did you give me something when it hurt? I don't remember ever you give me something that hurt. The reason why I was frustrated with her was that she never had any money, because she always had money. The issue was that she got herself into that home. Number two, she, was paying off her loans. And that's something that you could do over a period of time. She doubled up and tripled up and quadrupled up. She was making herself do that. And I know what? I have to salute that, because most of us are never going to get our loans paid off, And he said, I believe you said, when you say you don't like to ask me for anything, I know the feeling. Oh, you definitely know the feeling, because you had no money. You had no money. Most of the time, you never had money. That's why I would buy stuff for you, and I should never bought it. Never should have got her fire sticks and DVD players and just ridiculous stupid stuff. All right. And I definitely have a desire to pay you back. And I'm definitely not going to die trying, but I do got a big desire to pay her back. You could disagree with the words about bond, but you got to tell me when it wasn't. And so we could always, we could always disagree on everything. Why? Because one, like I said, I'm talking to a woman that wanted me to be her husband, and I saw nothing but a broken woman. And the other side of the court, I saw me as a broken man. And you're 7 years older than me, so you pretty much are good. Um, I like this part. What have I done other than say, listen, I didn't feel good. My hope really is that I just want to get out of her life, you know, and be able to build my own. And that's okay. And I don't really want you to be obligated. And that's exactly right. She said she had a traumatic childhood. You certain that's why she never dated you. And that's one of the lessons I learned in life is when someone said they got trauma and they don't go to counseling and they don't deal with this stuff, stay away from them. One of the issues that I found, and this is the biggest problem, and I'll admit this, I spent no time with other people. When I get back on my feet, I'm going to make friends. The girl that I date, she will not be the only one in my life. You know, and if I'm fortunate to date with a disability, because I don't know if someone would date me, I hope to be able to show older guys my own age that I'm a good friend. Not girls, guys. That's the catch. Okay. 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 So I really, the interesting about is two cars outside this building right here, and there's a parking space right out here. All I gotta do is October's coming up, so I gotta pay my late fee, and I gotta get insurance to cover me for the rest of the year, and also the tag. And then my hope is to uh, find me another personal care or apartment. Well, all I need is my job. But the lesson learned is I don't date somebody and go back and forth with them. Let that person go. I just really am so disappointed in myself. But I'm really grateful that I can have this conversation with myself because when I dated her as a person, I thought, man, for 7 years, it could work, it could work, it could work. Now when that woman's got tragedy and trauma and all these different things in her life, it don't work. So more than we can. So, you know, that's the lesson I learned. Coming to a good point now. A really good point where I could close this dialogue about her.
measures the extrinsic pathway and the common pathway in that coagulation cascade. And the clotting time usually varies between 11 and 13 seconds. When a patient is on warfarin, then this will be 1.5 to 2 times this amount. So we would expect this clotting time to be somewhere between 17 and 26 seconds, roughly. But the real number we're going to monitor when the patient is on warfarin is INR. So INR is normally about 1. But when a patient is on warfarin, we would expect this number to be between 2 and 3. So we'll definitely be paying attention to that number while the patient is on warfarin, and we're going to adjust their warfarin dose to get them into that 2 to 3 range for anticoagulation.
And that's what you're on right there, on that medication.
Happy with Level Up RN. In this video,
So these are different, learn about these imbalances. This is right here. This is a song you have to let relationships go. You have to say bye-bye. You have to sail on. Get that right. That's this perfect song right here. Yep. That's divorce, baby. He's saying, I'm giving you back your name. I'm leaving. Yep. He's saying, I'm leaving, dog. Yeah, that's basically saying it's over. Wow. Wow. He's telling the girl, he's telling the lady, get out of here. I heard that. Tired of being used. Come on, son. Amazing how the young kids like listen to these songs for the first time. The Commodore or something else out there. Yeah, it came out in 1979. This came out. Can you believe it? So Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. That's one more thing. That's hard. Awesome. All right.